Hello guys, and welcome to Bug Brother. And the reason I'm saying that is because the Big Brother house has now turned into an ant colony. And I gotta say, did not expect those words to leave my mouth. I'll be 100% honest. Didn't see that coming. I did not imagine that we'd go from the first shopping task, set in an office, fair enough. Second shopping task, camping. Third shopping task, living as ants. Where's the where's the rational route there? Now, before we get into this episode, I just want to say thank you guys very much for the support on these videos. If you're liking what you're seeing, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Do all that YouTube stuff, and yeah, basically just give me any indication that you're enjoying what you're seeing. So, the Big Brother house was split into two rival ant colonies, and we had the orange team versus the blue team. Now, each team had to decide on a queen ant. The orange team decided on Chanel, and her subjects were Dylan, Hallie, Henry, Yinran, Matty, and Tom. And the blue team decided that Noki should be their queen, and they had Kerry, Olivia, Jordan, Jenkin, Paul, and have I said Olivia? Trish. Trish is the other one. So yeah, they were split into two different teams, and I gotta say, it was quite dramatic what happened. I was not expecting it to kick off as much as it did over a Poxy shopping challenge, but it did, and I gotta say, I was loving a bit of the drama. It was a bit like, ooh, this is quite cheeky naughty, this is. But first of all, let's just explain the rules of the shopping task. They've already kind of broken a few, and I don't know how badly they're going to get punished for it, but they were told that there are like these ant trails throughout the house, and you have to walk along the ant trails. You're not allowed to walk across ant trails. You're not allowed to hop across. You have to follow the route. And I gotta say, if you're on one side of the room, you have to go all the way around the outside of the room just to get to the other side of the room, rather than just walking across. So I gotta say, I can understand why people are getting frustrated and annoyed, because I would be as well. They're only allowed to eat sugary food for the duration of the shopping task, which is alright. I just have to keep brushing my teeth, because I'd be worried that like it's rotting my teeth. And I don't know, I'm a sweet person, but I'm also very savoury. I love a bag of crisps. So, I don't know. I feel like I'd be fine for like the first day, and the second day, I'd find it so tough. So tough. One of the other main aspects of the game is that every now and again, there would be a klaxon, and an egg. Was it an egg? I feel like it was an egg. Would come out of a chute, and they had to take it to their little nest outside, and someone had to protect it at all costs. If someone was there protecting it, you weren't allowed to steal their eggs, but if someone wasn't there, then you could steal the other team's eggs, which was quite interesting. And I gotta say, the orange team was so bad at like sticking by the rules, because there were so many times where they just stole an egg from blue team, whilst Kerry was literally sat right there, and I just sat there and I was like, are they being serious? Like Hallie took one, and Kerry was screaming at her to give it back, and she ended up giving it back. And then there was Olivia, Olivia's on the blue team, stole an egg from the red. No, there's no red team. What am I on about? From the orange team, because Matty was like, had left the nest unattended. So essentially, orange team had no eggs, blue team had two. But then orange team started kicking off and being like, oh, you did that in bad faith. But like, it's literally in the rules. You're meant to stay by the eggs at all costs. So what were you expecting to happen when you walked away? There was another egg moment, but I'm going to talk about that in the iconic moments later on, because it was such a funny moment that like I genuinely couldn't stop laughing. I forgot to mention that everyone's dressed up in ant costumes, and the ant costumes are genuinely the most ridiculous thing like I've ever seen in my whole life. like, I've seen some dodgy costumes on Big Brother, but this is genuinely something else. Like, what on earth were they thinking? But also, this is incredible television. And the first challenge that we had in this episode was the head-to-head challenge. It's an endurance task. The blue team chose, I'm trying to remember now, Olivia, Jenkin, Paul? Was it Paul? I feel like it was Paul. And then the orange team chose Tom, Dylan, and Matty to take part in the endurance test. And this is where things got slightly heated for no reason whatsoever. Olivia instigated it. Trish was just backing up the shit talking. But they started claiming that, like, Chanel was being sexist by choosing only men on her, like, for this challenge. And it clearly started to rub Chanel up the wrong way. And Chanel, I thought, made it quite clear that, like, she wasn't finding it very funny. And the orange team wasn't finding it very funny either. So I thought, okay, they're just going to let it slide. Well, during the challenge, they started it up again. And it was just getting a little bit to the point where I was like, you're flogging a dead horse. It was funny at the start because it was like, oh, yeah, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But it's getting to the point where, like, yeah, we know it's a joke, but, like, it's not funny anymore. You're just being a bit nasty for no reason. Do you know what I mean? It's just a bit, it's not deep, but, like, if they're, like, not responding well to the joke, don't keep on with the joke. That's kind of my rule with things. But then the challenge started and they were asked to hold, like, I want to say it was like styrofoam, but I don't know. They had, like, big food items, like almost 2D, but obviously they were 3D. And they had to hold them above their heads. At first they were allowed just one hand on it, but then they were told to put 2 hands on it because they'd managed to last half an hour. I was like, fuck that. I would not have put much effort into that because it's not worth it. It actually isn't worth it. So what happened was, on the orange team, Matty accidentally shifted his weight and took one arm off, so he was disqualified. He then had to pile it on top of Tom. Then Dylan gave up soon after, so piled it on top of Tom, and then Tom kind of just gave up. So the orange team lost, and blue team won an advantage for the final game, which I assume we'll find out what that means tonight, which I got to admit, I'm kind of excited to see what happens. This shopping task has actually been quite entertaining so far, and so have most of the challenges that they've done in Big Brother this year so far. Like, normally when it's kind of like the stupid Love Island ones where it's like, oh, what do the public think of you? I just think, no, that's not very interesting. Get them to do shit that's actually entertaining rather than, oh, so-and-so on Twitter says you're a dickhead. I don't care. I actually don't care. So, yeah. There was another challenge in which Kerry and Henry were asked to blind smell different items. It was very, very funny to watch because at one point, Kerry, I think it was a dirty sock. She put her nose up against it and went, oh, that's cheese. Oh, definitely cheese. It was so funny because, like, she just kept going back for more sniffs. Like, it was genuinely so funny just to watch her. Ugh. Eventually, Henry came out as the winner, and I think he managed to correctly guess 4 out of 6 of them. Kerry only got, like, 2 or 3 out of 6, so she didn't do very well. So Henry and the orange team won an advantage for the final round, which kind of defeats the purpose of an advantage if both teams have got said advantage. So I don't quite know what the advantage is or how it's going to play into it, but I'm sure we'll find out tonight in tonight's episode. I think I said tomorrow earlier, but it's technically tonight. But tomorrow's episode, for when you guys watch it, I don't know. It's all very wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey. Yeah. I'm just going to touch on a few different topics in this episode. One of them was Paul being a fucking twat for, like, a portion of the episode and, like, kicking off at Olivia and Noki for like no reason. I've watched the argument back twice and I still don't understand why he was so upset or why he got pissed off. Like, actually what was going on. I really, really don't understand it. And I think it's just so strange. And the one time that you decide to open your mouth and start spouting off shit is now, 3 weeks into the competition, when nominations are literally 2 days away. In fact, nominations, as I'm currently recording, are happening right now in the studio. So, you fucked yourself is what you've done. Sorry, but you fucked yourself. And the second topic I want to talk about is Matty and Jordan. Now, I am not on board with Matty and Jordan. I don't think that they want the same thing out of each other. And I think there also is conflicting feelings for each other. I think Jordan has an admirational crush, whereas Matty kind of has a sort of physical crush, potentially, as well as an emotional crush. I don't know. Matty was kind of speaking about it and I didn't really get it, and I wasn't the biggest fan of it, because I think that Henry and Jordan get on so much better, and it feels like Jordan only started going for Matty because he feared that Henry was going to leave, and now that Henry's not left, he's kind of pulling back a little bit. They had an interesting conversation out in the garden where Jordan was asking sort of Matty for the touchiness to stop because he doesn't respond well to that. I think that's what the conversation was about. That's what I got from the conversation. So I don't know, but there is just really weird stuff going on there, and I don't know how to feel about it. So yeah. It's time for some iconic quotes and moments, and the first one was, well, the first two actually were Kerry, and the first thing she said was when Noki was basically making some demands about like, oh, can I have this, can I have that, and then Chanel was just not doing anything, be like, oh, I'll do that myself, and Noki just went, oh, your queen's not very demanding, and it caught me off guard and it cracked me up. Guard. Caught me off guard and it cracked me up. So yeah, that's my first one. The second one was when Kerry was out in the garden and she went, "Ooh, was that a sound effect or was that an actual bee?" And it cracked me up again, because I thought that's just the exact kind of thing that Big Brother would do, is just start playing bee noises to fuck with the housemates. So yeah, very, very funny. The next iconic moment had to be when Chanel accidentally called Tom Paul, and then they kind of took the piss out of her, and it was clear that she felt bad about it, but like, I think they took that just a touch too far. But yeah, that was quite a funny moment. The next one was when Yinrun and Matty were singing the national anthem, and it was actually quite a good song, and I was like, oh, this is an improvement on last episode's musical moment. I gotta say, I was very impressed with this one. I wasn't impressed with yesterday's one. So yeah, it seems like we're moving in the right direction with including musical moments. I don't know what school Henry went to, but what kind of school takes their kids to Costa Rica on holiday? That's crazy. Like, my school went to Spain. I think they went to the Alps. I think also they went to New York for like a media trip. But like, Costa Rica, that's crazy. That's like an 11-hour journey, isn't it? I'm sure it is. And finally, the best moment of the entire episode, and potentially the best scene of Big Brother so far, had to be when Kerry needs to take a piss, and she was begging Yinrun to go grab someone from her team, like from the blue team, to help relieve her so that she could go to the toilet. And Yinrun just went over to the hot tub and started splashing and making Kerry need to wee even more. Oh my goodness, it was so funny. There was one moment where Kerry went, I think I've just weed a little bit, or a little bit of wee just came out, cracked up. And then Tom, whilst Kerry was actually standing there, stole an egg. And then Kerry literally came and wrestled them and wrestled the egg back to like Jenkin. It was just such an incredible moment. And I gotta say, Kerry's not annoying me as much this week, which is good. And I'm keeping her at arm's length. But she's actually entertaining me this week. The last 2 episodes, I've got to say, she's been very entertaining. But I think that's because other people have been annoying me more, aka Paul. So I guess we'll find out what happens with nominations. I think the nominees are going to be Noki potentially, Paul, potentially Trish, potentially Olivia, maybe Chanel, I don't know. But I don't think Kerry's going to get nominated. Oh, I forgot about Hallie. Hallie might get nominated as well. I don't know. But I guess we'll have to find out on Wednesday's episode. So thank you guys very, very much for watching. And I will see you guys in the next episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Do all of that YouTube stuff. And I will see you guys later. Keep on ranting. Bye now.